Hello and welcome to the Indie Gamer Plays. I am the Indie Gamer, and today I will be playing Thomas Was Alone. Now usually this is a first impression series, but this will actually be a second look at this game for me, because I have played it before, and when I did I just turned it on, played it, and 6-7 hours later I was done, and I'd just finished the entire story for this game. It was an experience. It's a very story-driven game with very basic mechanics. It's a 2D side-scrolling platformer game, and the character design is different, to say the least. I think you'll see now. This is the main character, this little red block.
Thomas was alone. Wow, a weird first thought to have.
And as you've just heard, the entire game is narrated by a narrator, and the voice of that narration is British TV personality and radio personality Danny Wallace, who actually won a BAFTA for his performance on this game.
Thomas decided to start listing his observations for posterity. 1. The whole alone thing. 2. Portals. They led somewhere. He'd yet to work out where. 3. Falling. Thomas was absolutely fantastic at falling. He was almost as good at falling as he was at observing.
So immediately the game is trying to build a sense of character around this very basic character design. The most characteristic red block I've ever seen in a game.
Past this block. Think, damn it, think. What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to... what's the word? Jump.
Obviously the game's starting out very simple, and as it moves on it gets more challenging.
But Thomas noted there was no real danger in it.
As you see, you can skip past the narration,
This all seems
but it's a very major part of the game, really.
Was not to be trusted.
It's all about the story,
Unstable, and it seemed to Thomas,
which I think some people will enjoy and some people will not. But when it comes to gaming, I always consider story as one of the most important things in a game. A game with bad mechanics can be improved by a really good story.
To the right, which might or might not be important.
As you can hear, the music in the background to this is very almost zen,
paranoia again.
very peaceful and calm.
The world was becoming more complicated. It always seemed to be one step ahead of his skills. It had been...
For me personally, it was very easy the first time around to just get lost in this game and just keep playing over and over and over every level, and then about 100 levels later you realise that
toxic glowing water intimidated
you've actually been playing for ages.
He didn't like it.
Kind of skipping past the narration here, but that's kind of half of
to Thomas.
the fun of the game, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone if you go and do buy this from seeing my little second impression video. Don't want to ruin the story for anyone, because it's a very, very good story. It's quite original, and I'll just play until we meet some of the other characters, and you'll be able to see the differences between them.
Thomas had a new theory.
There are several characters in this game. I think there's 7 in total, and a new DLC is about to be released at the end of April, which adds another character and another section of story to this game.
Spontaneous generation. He'd become a pretty skilled jumper.
The DLC is titled
Was evolving.
Benjamin's Flight, and adds a character who has the ability to fly, because all of these characters have different abilities depending on their shape and size. So the idea of the game is that you solve the puzzles using all of the different blocks and making them interact with each other to solve all of the puzzles. Usually you control anywhere between 2 and 5 at once. I think there might actually be a few missions where you use every character. here we go. This is the first mission with the second character. I'll let you listen to the narration here.
Chris took an immediate and deep dislike to the skinny red rectangle. Who the hell did this Thomas think he was?
So, if I switch over to the other character, you can just do that pressing the Q and E buttons. You can see this one doesn't have as much of an ability to jump, so he has a disadvantage in that aspect anyway. Can't reach as high places, so you can use the other block, Thomas, to help him get across these gaps.
He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times. Well, not technically graceful, it's probably the wrong word, but you know, fine. There was that skinny little runt leaping about like he owned the place.
So you see each block has its own personality, so this new block, Christopher, is a bit jealous of the red block, Thomas's ability to jump. Game messing around with me here. But he can't get to his objective without Thomas to help him over there. So it's all about cooperation and using the different blocks to solve the puzzles, and very simple gameplay, but very enjoyable gameplay. This is actually probably one of the I would consider one of the best games I've played in recent memory.
Okay, this was more like it. A glowy white thing. Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing. What would it do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him?
So now obviously I've got to go and press the switch, but only the yellow block can fit underneath there. So again, teamwork. And now use the red one to get the yellow one up a little bit higher, one step at a time.
Great. Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate. Seriously, this made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worthwhile.
And there we go.
Was this good? Because on the surface, it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure. Chris couldn't shake the feeling that things had taken a significant turn for the worse since Thomas had joined him. Sure, he'd been able to piggyback his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, to ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point.
Well, I think I'm going to leave it here. I don't want to travel too much further with the story. Wouldn't want to ruin it for anybody who plans on actually going out and buying the game. So now I'll tell you about where you can do that. This game is currently on Steam. It's £5.99. It's also coming to PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita on the PlayStation Network, and it'll be released on the 24th of April 2013, along with its DLC pack, Benjamin's Flight, which is going to be £1.99. The DLC pack is going to be exclusive to the PlayStation until a later date when it will be released on Steam, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth to anyone who bought it on Steam. But at least it is coming. So yeah, it's a very good game, very well written. The story is very good, and as I said, probably one of my favourite games in recent memory. The only game that's absorbed me this much recently has been Portal 2, which is another game I played from start to finish without a break, and I think those are the two only games that I have done that with, played from start to finish without a single break. So yeah, I definitely recommend this to anyone who likes this genre. They're very good puzzle platform gaming and very good story-driven gameplay. So, yep, I've been the Indie Gamer. This has been the Indie Gamer Plays, and I'll see you next time.